My friends, I want you to imagine this moment with me for just a second. You have been waiting for months, maybe even years, for some real relief, something extra that will actually help you cover those bills, keep food on the table, and maybe even bring back a little peace of mind. Then finally, the news breaks. Centrelink has approved $4,000 in payments for seniors. Yes, you heard that right, $4,000. And the first thought that comes to mind is simple. When will I see it in my bank account? This is not just about numbers on a piece of paper. It's about dignity, stability, and making sure our older Australians, who have given so much for their families in this country, finally feel some breathing room. The cost of living has been going up, electricity bills are climbing, rent and groceries keep rising, and many seniors have been left wondering if the system remembers them at all. So today, let's talk honestly and clearly about these payments, what they mean, when you might get them, and how this connects to the broader pension system in Australia. But before we go deeper, I want to ask you to do something simple. If you care about updates like this, and if you want to stay informed without feeling overwhelmed by complicated jargon, please take a second right now to hit that subscribe button. That way you'll never miss the latest news that could affect your pension, your benefits, and your household budget. Now, let's break this down together. Why this $4,000 payment matters so much. For many seniors in Australia, every extra dollar counts. Most people who rely on Centrelink know this better than anyone. The age pension, as steady as it might be, often doesn't stretch far enough to meet the rising costs of rent, medicine, and utilities. A one-time support measure like this $4,000 can make a world of difference. Imagine being able to finally catch up on those overdue bills. Imagine having the peace of mind that you can buy groceries without having to cut something else out of your budget. Imagine being able to repair something in your home that you've been putting off because you simply couldn't afford it. This is why seniors across the country have been holding their breath waiting for news like this. But of course, the natural question follows, is this really happening? And if so, when? The government's role and the bigger picture. The Australian government, through Services Australia and Centrelink, has been under increasing pressure to provide targeted support for older Australians. The age pension itself is adjusted twice a year through indexation, but many seniors have argued that these adjustments simply don't keep up with real-life inflation. While the numbers on paper go up, the rent, groceries, petrol, and medical bills rise even faster. That's where supplementary payments and one-off relief measures like this $4,000 approval come into play. They act as a bridge, helping households survive during times of economic pressure. And in 2025, that pressure is very real. We are looking at a combination of global inflation, domestic cost of living crises, and challenges unique to retirees such as higher medical costs and less flexibility to supplement income. This $4,000 is not just money, it's a recognition. It's the government saying, we see you, we know you're struggling, and here's some immediate help. This is the question that everyone is asking. And the truth is, timing can vary depending on how Centrelink processes the approval and distribution. Typically, once payments like this are confirmed, Services Australia releases a schedule. Payments are often rolled out in stages to different groups of recipients, depending on eligibility and the type of benefit they're already receiving. For example, age pensioners, disability support pensioners, and carer payment recipients are usually among the first to receive such support. Then, other low-income households and concession cardholders may follow. The exact date for this $4,000 payment is expected to align with the Centrelink payment calendar, which operates on a fortnightly cycle. That means seniors could see the money deposited directly into their bank accounts on their usual payment day, or as a separate lump sum depending on how the rollout is structured. And that is why staying informed is crucial. The money doesn't just appear out of nowhere, you need to know the conditions, the dates, and whether you're eligible. Now, I want to pause here, because sometimes when we talk about payments and pensions, it becomes too technical. But behind every number is a real human story. Many seniors right now are worried sick. They're choosing between heating their homes or paying for medication. They're worrying if they'll have enough to help a grandchild with school supplies, or if they'll have to quietly skip meals to make ends meet. This payment represents more than just financial relief. It represents hope. It gives people a reason to believe that the system still works for them, that they're not forgotten. And that emotional weight is just as important as the dollars themselves. When news like this breaks, the very first question people have is, am I eligible? Because it doesn't matter if the government announces payments, if you're not in the right category or if your paperwork isn't up to date, you might miss out. So let's go step by step in clear, Simple language. Who will likely receive the payment? The $4,000 payment is designed to target Australians who are most in need, those who are already receiving Centrelink benefits. That means, in most cases, eligibility will start with people on the age pension. Seniors who rely on this payment form the backbone of the retirement support system, and it's only fair they are at the front of the line. In addition to age pensioners, other groups may also qualify, such as disability support pension recipients. People who can't work due to disability often face the same rising costs as seniors, if not more. Carer payment recipients, those who dedicate their lives to looking after a loved one, often sacrificing their own financial future. Low-income cardholders. In some past payments, people with a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card or Pensioner Concession Card were included. It's important to remember that final details always come from Services Australia, and seniors should watch their announcements closely. How to confirm your status. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that Centrelink has all their correct details. But sometimes bank accounts change, addresses are not updated, or eligibility categories shift. That's why checking your Centrelink online account or the MyGov portal is so important. Here's what seniors should do to confirm their status. First, log into your MyGov account and check your Centrelink payment type. If it says age pension or disability support pension or carer payment, then you're already in one of the groups most likely to be eligible. Next, check that your bank account details are current. Payments can only go into the account that Centrelink has on file, so if you've recently switched banks or updated your details, make sure they are correctly recorded. For those who are not confident using online systems, you can also call Centrelink directly or visit a Services Australia service centre. Yes, it may take time, and yes, the phone lines can be frustrating, but it is better to confirm than to risk missing out. Now, let's talk about preparation. Governments don't usually ask you to apply for these one-off payments if you're already eligible. Instead, they deposit the money automatically into the accounts of people who qualify. But the key is being in the system correctly. If your eligibility has lapsed, or if you're in the process of applying for the age pension but haven't been approved yet, you may need to act quickly. For example, if you've just turned 67 and applied for the age pension but your claim is still pending, you'll only receive this payment if your claim is processed and approved in time. So, here's the advice. Don't wait until the last minute. If you're on the edge of eligibility, whether by age, income, or residency status, get your paperwork sorted now. Make sure everything is accurate and up to date. Once the rollout begins, payments usually appear in bank accounts on the regular Centrelink payment day. That means if you normally get your pension on a Tuesday, it will likely appear then. Some seniors may receive the payment as a lump sum on a different day, but historically, Centrelink likes to align extra payments with the existing payment schedule to avoid confusion. It's also important to know that not everyone will receive the money on the same day. Payments are often staggered across different groups. 1 week, age pensioners may receive theirs. The following week, carers or disability pensioners may see theirs. So, patience is necessary, but rest assured that once confirmed, the payments are guaranteed. I've spoken with seniors who've been through this before. They tell me the waiting can be the hardest part. You hear the announcement, you check your bank account, and when it's not there yet, panic starts to build. But history shows that once Centrelink approves and schedules these payments, the deposits always arrive. It's just a matter of time. One gentleman told me that the last time a relief payment was announced, he received it 2 weeks after the announcement, while his neighbour got it almost instantly. The difference was purely in processing schedules. That's why patience and staying informed are so important. Some people may ask, why not just give the $4,000 to everyone over a certain age? The answer is cost. Government budgets are stretched, and targeted relief is meant to go to those who need it most. While many retirees struggle, the focus is on those already within the Centrelink system. That's why double-checking your eligibility is not just a recommendation, it's essential. This brings us to an even bigger question. What about seniors who just miss out? Not everyone qualifies, and not everyone is inside the Centrelink system. And that's where frustration often grows. Not every senior will meet the eligibility rules for this $4,000 Centrelink payment. And I know how painful that can feel. You hear the news, your heart fills with hope, and then you realize you might be left out. But let's take a deeper look, because even if you don't qualify directly, there are still ways you might benefit. Some Australians retire with enough superannuation savings or investments that they don't qualify for the age pension. Others fall into a gap where their income or assets put them just slightly above the threshold. If that's you, you might be asking, why don't I deserve support too? It's a fair question. After all, many self-funded retirees are still feeling the sting of rising costs. The reality is, the government uses means testing to target relief. This system measures your income and assets, and if they fall above the cutoff line, you won't be eligible for pension-link bonuses. But here's where things get interesting. Even if you don't get the $4,000 directly, other forms of support can still ease the burden. Let me explain. When the government puts money into the hands of age pensioners, carers, or disability pension recipients, it doesn't just stop there. That money flows into the economy. Seniors spend it on food, fuel, medicine, rent, or local services. And this stimulates small businesses, supports jobs, and stabilizes communities. If you're not getting the payment yourself, you might still benefit indirectly when local shops, services, or councils see this extra spending power in the community. It creates a ripple effect. My friends, this $4,000 payment is more than just money, it's a lifeline for many households. It's the difference between anxiety and peace of mind, between struggling and breathing easier. But it's also a reminder that our system needs constant attention and improvement. You deserve dignity in retirement. You deserve security, stability, and the confidence that you can live without fear of falling behind. This payment is one chapter in that story, but the bigger fight continues. So, here's my request. If you found this explanation useful, please subscribe to the channel right now. That way, you'll never miss critical updates about pensions, Centrelink, and financial support for seniors. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, share this video with them because we are stronger when we look out for each other. Together, we'll keep following every update, every reform, and every announcement so you can feel secure knowing you're never left in the dark. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this community. And remember, you are not forgotten.